2 more demos to go, and then our final interview for the day. There's another big announcement that you may have seen this week, and that announcement is Celo moving to Ethereum L2. A lot of you kind of saw, a lot of you were curious about how that's happening. So what I want to do is just bring the person that is going to talk to you directly about why they chose to do this thing. So without further ado, please welcome Rene from Celo to share their insight on what made them do this. Welcome.
Thanks, Kartik, and thanks for the great event. Excited to be here. Let's see. All right, Celo's return to Ethereum. That begs the question, why return? What I want to do here is I want to talk a little bit about the Celo journey and actually go through some of the stuff that we've seen built on Celo since mainnet went live 3 years ago. And then at the end, go into a little bit of the architectural choices. So some of you may have seen this forum post that went up over the weekend and has actually been really well received within the community. We've gotten a ton of feedback here so far this week. If you haven't checked it out, please go to forum.celo.org to take a look. And I want to maybe start for those of you who spend most of the time in the Ethereum community who haven't come across Celo, to give a quick overview, what motivated us to build Celo and what's being built on Celo. And with Celo, with this proposal of Celo turning into a layer 2, what are the things that, as an Ethereum developer, you can build maybe uniquely on Celo right now that you can't build anywhere else? And I'll start with what I think is most important with all of these things, which is really the mission. This is what got us to start Celo and what I think attracted a lot of the initial builder on Celo to our ecosystem. And that's, Celo means purpose in Esperanto, and that's really this building with purpose and building for everyone. And when Celo was conceived, this is going back 5-6 years at this point, we actually started building on Ethereum, but quickly realized there were a few things that at the time weren't there to fulfill this vision. And I give a few examples here. So, and this is again taking us back to 2017, 2018, and even into sort of mainnet launch 2020. Celo launched as a proof of stake chain, the first proof of stake EVM. So fees on Celo to date have been less than a cent. The immediate finality, which is really important for a lot of payments application that we've seen. A human-centered design. So imagine when you want someone who has never heard of crypto who has received maybe a payment in stablecoin into a wallet. You want them to then be able to use that if they now have to get ETH or get any other sort of layer 1 token. That adds a lot of complexity. And so one change we introduced was to actually let users pay for gas with any token, and stablecoins being a very popular use case for that. And that has really been one of the factors to really make, especially an experience on mobile, much simpler. And then sustainability. I think we, when kind of going to the drawing board, we saw a chance to apply a lot of regenerative principles into building Celo, and that starts with, having a carbon negative chain and offsetting the carbon footprint, but actually goes a lot deeper when we look at the ReFi stack that's come together on Celo in terms of enabling really any application on Celo, any product, any user experience to have a regenerative element. And I'll give some examples to that. So here are a few use cases. Here are a few of the things that people have been building on Celo, or what's driving a lot of adoption on Celo right now. GoodDollar is a really interesting project that's gifting money into existence, used by over 500,000 people that once a day go to an app and claim the GoodDollar token, and then are able to use that in their community on a marketplace. And it's really it's been a really interesting way to actually bootstrap adoption for crypto. And now we're seeing other projects leverage that distribution for introducing their projects, right? So really kind of bottoms-up approach to onboarding people to Web3. This is a different project. ImpactMarket actually also started from sort of a cash transfer, direct giving approach by letting anyone donate to any community in the world, and having the money transparently be distributed directly to end users' non-custodial wallets. They recognize that because they've bootstrapped this really valuable set of communities around the world, and I think over 60,000 people have onboarded to that. They have a unique data set to actually offer microcredit, and so just a few weeks ago have started to offer microcredit. And this is not like someone over here is maybe getting USDC and then turning that into like local fiat and distributing it for credit, but this is actually the whole value chain, right? From the folks, the institutions that fund microcredit all the way to the individual receiving the credit in their non-custodial wallet and making a repayment in the wallet, which is really powerful because it allows all that data to be tracked on chain and provide insights into how well that's going. Grassroots Economics is another interesting example. And some of these are interesting too because they predate crypto. So these are projects that have thought about bringing these kind of new regenerative projects to life, and they're now taking advantage of Web3 infrastructure to actually scale it up. So Grassroots Economics, it's been existed over 10 years. In Kenya, they initially started with paper vouchers, people just trading basically paper vouchers. You can think about it, if you're a small business, you're offering a service, right? That service has a value, so why not use that as kind of a complementary way to exchange value in a community? Fast forward to today, they're live on Celo mainnet, and this is a sort of snapshot of where each of the dots is a small business, and I think this is all kind of just Kilifi region in Kenya right now, and the lines are transactions between these businesses. So you can click on it, you get dropped directly into the Celo Block Explorer, and you can sort of, really see real-world adoption of this technology coming to life. So very powerful. Now this is something maybe more folks can relate to. I love soccer. NFTs I thought were interesting, but also I didn't really personally, sort of see maybe the immediate utility. What Plastiks has done here is something really interesting. They've launched an NFT collection together with FC Barcelona, where each NFT is actually tied to 1 ton of plastic offsets. So FC Barcelona was really interested to basically create kind of a mechanism to, well, first of all, offset the plastic usage that happens during games, but then also over time also create a market around, similar to maybe some of you have seen voluntary carbon markets, right? Sort of a price for carbon recovery. And it's really beautiful because their fans now not only buy an NFT from FC Barcelona, but they're actually having a positive impact in the world. So I thought really interesting to combining the sort of just, technical primitive of an NFT with sort of that real world impact. And that's possible because on Celo there's a rich ReFi stack of assets, of real world assets like voluntary carbon credits, like plastic offsets that any application can use and build with. And these are some of the examples that, and many of them have just launched in the recent months and weeks, but have really, just dramatically accelerated adoption of Celo. So if you go to, this is the Nansen Chain Paradise dashboard, you sort by active addresses. Celo right now is growing very fast, and not only growing fast, but also if you look at address retention is looking really strong, which really speaks to, these are being use cases that drive, ongoing on-chain usage. Now you could say, okay, Rene, nice work. You picked the one chart that looks great. If you go further out, so if you say you go to 6 months, we're still in the top spot. So it's been really exciting to see, and we're I think expecting to continue to see this because a lot of these applications are growing just week over week, months over months, and are touching more and more people. This is a little bit of where we've come from, some of the choices we've made. And this sort of topic of layer 2 has come up repeatedly over the years. But until now, the core team at C-Labs who made this proposal didn't really see an architecture that would have allowed us to keep a lot of the things that make Celo special today, like low gas fees, in such a setup. And so really through some of the more recent innovations like EigenDA, it is actually possible to have an architecture with very low transaction fees, as people on Celo have come to love, but also, tap into the longer term benefits of having ETH security and sort of that trustless bridge to ETH. Now, if you look at this architecture, one thing that particularly I think has been getting folks excited here in Paris this week is this sort of, basically way of leveraging the existing Celo validator set to become decentralized sequencers. So validators are becoming sequencers, and you have this decentralized sequencer design, which for us is something we can bring to market very quickly, because we've done a lot of work around, some of you may be familiar with Plumo, the ZK Ultra-like client architecture, which for us was something we started working on a while back, because we really wanted to make applications work on mobile easier, and that's something that can actually now come and support this work around the decentralized sequencer. So again, this is a proposed design. There's lots of conversations happening, and so also anyone here who has strong technical views on maybe things we should consider, please go to the forum, leave us a comment, or come chat with me after, or some of our colleagues. And yeah, look, I just want to share, I'm super excited to be here. We're at the hackathon this weekend as well. Hopefully some of these use cases inspired you to build something that has that kind of real world impact. And we're excited to build with you. Thank you.